my presentation today. We will talk about what is this KAATSU training, how does it work. We will talk about the physiological changes during pregnancy, the normal time course of recovery. We will talk about the training program I have done, my personal results. We will talk about KAATSU and fascia, because we are in the field of fascia, so I'm sure you want to know what you can do with this. And then we will see some conclusions and recommendations, especially for women, so for women's health. Good. As I mentioned before, KAATSU means nothing else than additional pressure in the Japanese language. The guy who invented this method, his name is Yoshiaki, he's a doctor, Dr. Yoshiaki Sato. He's a medical doctor and he's a bodybuilder. And he did this invention already in 1966, so over 50 years ago. And in Europe, we just knew about this method since approximately 5 to 10 years. And it's getting more and more successful. At the Japanese people, there are over 3,000 specialists working already with this method. And people, especially elderly people, are profiting from this great method. Okay, so how does KAATSU work? In KAATSU, we are working with pressure. We are not working with load, we are working with pressure. So when I did strength training, normally I was always using high load. Yeah, so I was using weight, and I had a low metabolic stress, and I needed time for recovery. In KAATSU, it's the other way round. We are working with low load. We are using pressure instead of load. We are getting a high metabolic stress, and we only need short time for recovery. So you can see on my picture a woman which has a band around her leg or her arm. These are those famous, we call it the air bands in the KAATSU method. So in KAATSU, we are doing an automatically and safely alteration of the blood circulation. For this, we use a machine. We use a machine, a compressor. It looks like this. It's very small. And we use this band, this so-called air bands. They are very soft and flexible. And we inflate and deflate those bands at a special rhythm. The benefits of KAATSU: we boost the circulation. We boost the blood circulation. We improve the hormonal balance, and we develop a muscle tone and muscle strength, very time effective with a minimum of load. So people with cardiovascular diseases, people with arthrosis, people who want to be fit when they're getting old are using KAATSU, also as a prevention from stroke or heart attacks. When we talk about KAATSU, we have two local effects and one systemic effect. When I talk about the local effect, I have to talk about vascular effects. The second local effect is the muscular effect. With KAATSU, you can get significant strength gain with very light weight. And the third effect we have, it's a systemic effect. So we get an acute hormonal release. Through the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland, we get started an anabolic cascade. So the muscle is having a lack of oxygen, and the body thinks that you are doing heavy work. So they start to spread out growth hormones, like the GH, the growth hormone, or the vascular endothelial growth factor.